Welcome! Within this video, we're going to cover two key areas. In the first one, we're going to look at the core teaching strategies for effective instruction. Next, we're going to go on and look at brief introductions of each lesson that will guide you through the implementation of the Color My Conversation program. The Color My Conversation program focuses on developing conversation skills through a variety of engaging and intriguing learning opportunities. The children have multiple opportunities to express their thoughts and opinions and/or process the thoughts and opinions of others. As each child maneuvers his or her way through the maze of conversations, it is hoped that each participant, upon completion, will have gained a deeper understanding and appreciation for self, family, friends, and community. Core teaching strategies for effective instruction using the Color My Conversation program. Number 1, easy implementation. The Color My Conversation program is flexible and adaptable. It offers the options of working in either an individual, small group, or classroom setting. Though it can be completed within a 5-month period, the conversation coach may choose to implement it over the course of a full year, with sessions being scheduled once or twice weekly. Number 2, flexible workspace, low maintenance. The Color My Conversation program requires minimal preparation for setup and can be provided in a classroom, a therapy room, a family room, or any room which has sufficient space. The conversation coach should keep a couple of things in mind when selecting the location. The room should be tidy and organized, free of excessive visual distractions. This allows the children to put their focus on the learning tasks more effectively. The room setup should remain predictable and consistent. Though furniture may be moved to make room for the lesson activities, the location of the wall display should remain constant. Here's what you'll need to get started. Enough room for the children to move along and around the conversation path, enough wall space for the wall display and posters, a whiteboard or chalkboard for moments of direct instruction, and a table and chairs for the seatwork activities. Number 3, user-friendly manual. The Color My Conversation manual is easy to read, and the lessons are easy to implement. This is because the complete instructions are embedded within each lesson. The conversation coach can read the instructional script word for word and can rely on this example during the learning stages of program implementation. Worksheets are provided within most lessons, and parent letters can simply be photocopied and sent home. Pre-written goals and data keeping forms are available for the purposes of accountability. Number 4, engaging lessons. The Color My Conversation program is multi-sensory, and the lesson activities are designed to appeal to a variety of learning styles. Through engaging and dynamic exercises, the children can move continually through the process of observation, action, and reflection. Music, artwork, worksheets, movement, interactive games, there should be something for everyone. Number 5, success. The Color My Conversation program focuses on creating a safe and predictable learning environment. During the initial stages of most lessons, errorless learning strategies are employed so that the children can realize immediate success with the concepts being trained. This allows them to relax and enjoy the learning process as they grow in their skill development and confidence. Number 6, confidence builder and independent thinker. The Color My Conversation program focuses on inspiring children to reach for their personal bests as they walk through problem-solving situations independently or collectively with the support of their peers and their conversation coach. Number 7, opportunities to grow. The Color My Conversation program teaches the children a common language around the topics of conversation. These teaching terms are shared with caregivers and educators so that the concepts can be applied to the child's natural environment, because everyone is speaking the same language. Opportunities for the children to apply these concepts are initially provided within a structured learning environment. However, once sufficient skill development has been demonstrated, opportunities are then provided for the child to practice their conversation skills within the real world as field trip assignments are scheduled into the community. Number 8, parent support and involvement. Samples of parent letters are provided at the beginning of most lessons. These are to be used by teachers or speech-language pathologists in school-based programs. These letters have been written in a very easy-to-read format, and the suggestions equally easy for the parent to implement at home. Field trips have been planned into the community, and this is a fantastic time for parent involvement. The parents can watch their children using their conversation skills in action. And not only that, they have the added time to sit and converse with the conversation coach. Number 9, individualized instruction. Though improved conversation skills are the primary goal within the Color My Conversation program, the primary focus is for the conversation coach to see each child as an individual, first and foremost. Everyone has a life story. As adults, we have the opportunity to influence a young life. It is a privilege and an honor that should not be taken lightly. Each one of us has the opportunity to invest in this child's life, to raise a leader who in turn can then influence others. What a wonderful gift. Leaders are born? Yes, there is a measure of truth to this statement. However, leadership is something that can be taught. Each child is a gift who has been uniquely created for a purpose. We all have something to give. With support and encouragement, many children who might otherwise fall through the cracks can learn to reach their potential. Who knows what a child could do if given the knowledge, the support, the hope, and the opportunity to become his or her personal best. Working on social skills should be fun and exciting. What can make this area of instruction sometimes a challenge is that we try to excise conversation from the dynamic world from which it resides. We place it onto a worksheet or onto a board game or into a computer program, and from these vantage points alone, we attempt to teach our children how to be adept conversationalists. The problem with these common strategies is that we can't teach the real world in a lab any more than we can teach a parent how to be a parent simply by reading a manual. It's more often through our life experiences that we learn how to maneuver and grow into skilled communicators, or at least that would be our hope. Like a cookbook, we acquire conversational recipes, which allow us to modify and adapt ourselves to a variety of conversational styles and settings. For some children, this process is both elusive and intimidating, and that's why the Color My Conversation program was developed, to demystify and simplify the conversation process so that children with special needs can have some basic recipes with which to converse with others. In our social media-driven world, opportunities for face-to-face conversations can sometimes be a challenge when technology offers such a fast and effective form of communication. The Color My Conversation program is a multi-sensory approach which provides dynamic and engaging learning opportunities for all children to be able to improve their conversation skills. The conversation coach, that's you, will be using a variety of learning techniques as you work together with the children to enhance their conversation skills. Regardless of the tools preferred, the main focus is on having meaningful conversations. Right from the start, the children will be engaged in the act of conversation as they move from the most basic greeting to the most complicated conversation that they're capable of having. We're going to go over a brief overview of each lesson with some short videos just to help you get started into the use of the Color My Conversation program. The first 3 lessons of the Color My Conversation program is presented with a kinesthetic element. The children are physically walking through their conversations as they step on colored markers known as the conversation path. Quite frequently, a ball will be tossed back and forth just to emphasize the need for turn-taking in this initial stage of the program. Knowing what to say is made easy because pictures or words are drawn on the conversation stones and demonstrations are provided by the conversation coach. Lesson 1, the yellow conversation. This is simply our hellos and our goodbyes. In the yellow conversation lesson, there's only going to be 2 yellow stones, the hello and the goodbye. The children will be stepping on the hello stone and then on the goodbye stone as they toss the ball back to their conversation partner. These conversations are fast and easy. We don't even need our words. There are times when speaking is not practical, so we let our bodies speak for us as we smile and wave. It is likely that you will form an opinion about that person based on how well they handled a very simple yet very powerful social exchange. Lesson 2, the short conversation. In the short conversation lesson, we're going to add 2 stones to our conversation path. They'll be the green conversation starter and the red conversation stopper. When you think about it, we have short conversations every day. They're highly predictable. We'll talk about the weather, about our family, about what we've been up to lately. And then we'll wrap it up with a, hey, it's been great talking with you, and then we'll be on our way. In this video, you're watching the children step through the conversation path as they toss the ball back and forth to each other. Lesson 3, the long conversation. In this video, what you're going to see is how the short conversation is transformed in the long conversation by adding the blue pieces to the middle of the conversation path. Now these blue pieces represent the topics of conversation. Topics of conversation in the Color My Conversation program start off with nice, easy topics that most kids like to talk about. As the kids are working through the long conversation, they'll do their hellos, they'll do their conversation starter, then they'll go on to the topics of conversation before going on to the conversation stopper and then their goodbyes. The intermediate level, take it to the table. In the intermediate level, the children will continue to practice walking along the conversation path. However, the conversation coach will start to introduce table-oriented activities such as association and classification exercises, interviews, songs and rhyme, beadwork, interactive games, wall displays, and role plays. Now this is done in order to target and isolate specific components of the long conversation, which are making comments, asking questions, using topic changer words and phrases, and of course increasing the use of topics themselves. And lastly, to increase the child's awareness of face-to-face conversations in this world of social media. In lessons 4, 5, and 6, the children are going to learn about the use of questions and comments. When you think about it, questions are conversation movers. They move the conversation forward, as are comments. Why do we ask questions? We ask questions to get information. Why do we make comments? To show people that we're listening and that we care. These 3 lessons focus on increasing the children's awareness for questions and comments and also provide examples to expand and stretch the examples that they have in their inventory to use. There are many different exercises, games, songs in these 3 lessons that teach the concepts behind questions and comments. What you're about to see in this video is a group of children doing what's known as the special question rap. This is a really fun exercise for the kids to do no matter what the age because it involves movement, dance, clapping. The special question rap is meant to work on interrogative reversals, those questions that really only have 3 answers, yes, no, or maybe so. Lesson 7, topic changers. Topic changers are the words and phrases that we use when we go from one topic to another. Now this happens to be a very complicated task, even for adults. In the Color My Conversation program, the conversation coach is going to use 3 techniques in order to teach this concept. Number 1, in the middle of the long conversation path, there's going to be lightning bolts. Number 2, The conversation coach will then make an association between natural lighting and the power that it can have with topic changers and the power that they can have in the conversation. And finally, the conversation coach is going to take a ribbon, hold on to one end of it, and give it to one of the children in the group that has the stronger conversation skills. As the conversation coach moves through a long conversation, the conversation coach is going to gently tug on the ribbon as the conversations moved without the use of topic changers. Now, this lesson typically only needs to be done one time because the kids get it. Topic changers are worth doing. They make our conversation powerful. Lesson 8, speaking loud and clear. In Lesson 8, the children are going to be learning about the unspoken rules in conversation, such as eye contact, tone of voice, facial expression, body gestures, and about the value of having face-to-face conversations in this world of social media. In this video sample, we're going to look at an exercise where the children are looking at mirrors. Now, in the middle of the table, there's going to be facial expression cards. One of the children will turn over the cards and will name the emotion. The children will pick up their mirror and make that facial expression. The conversation coach is going to use that as a springboard to talk about how we make those facial expressions, what happens with our eyebrows, our eyes, our nose, our mouth to create that face. Lesson 9, beading. In this video sample, you're going to see younger children making a bracelet. Now, these crafts that they're making, whether it's a keychain or a bracelet, they are just fun. And they're fun for a couple of reasons. Number one, this is a craft that the children can actually take with them. Number two, it's a reason to celebrate the end of the intermediate level of the Color My Conversation. But most importantly, there is an educational significance to this activity. The beads are in a sequence. The children can use the beads as a visual reminder to see how conversations unfold. Advanced level, topics of conversation. In the advanced level, there's only one lesson. Lesson 10, topics of conversation. The material, one game, the Color My Conversation game, but it's going to be played in 3 different versions. In my topic, the children are really going to work on their ability to tell a story. And on the Your Topic version, they'll be focused on what does it mean to be an active listener. In this video, you can see an example of 2 children playing the shared topics conversation. You can see the conversation coach putting tokens on comments, questions, and topic changers as the children use them. Now, the Color My Conversation game is not meant to be competitive. It's meant for the children to improve their own conversation skills. Lesson 11, carryover. Lesson 11, the kids get to go on field trips. Now, this is just plain old fun. No matter what level of conversation the kids have made it through, they've made it through to their personal best. And now they get to celebrate, leaving the structure of a classroom situation and going into the real world as they visit grocery stores and libraries and restaurants. This is a really fun time for parents and other caregivers to come along and celebrate as they watch the children use the conversation skills that they've acquired. Lesson 12, customize. Lesson 12 is a time for the conversation coach and the parent to take a look at the child's conversation skills. Together, the conversation coach, the parent, and the child can look at strategies for supporting those areas of conversation that were not able to be addressed within the Color My Conversation program. There are 2 supplementary sections to the Color My Conversation program. Section 2 is a specific area that provides lessons from the beginner level of the Color My Conversation program, which can be applied for children with special needs. In Section 3, This is where you're going to find additional activities that you can do with older children. And it's also the place where you're going to find the data keeping forms. The Color My Conversation program is intended to work with children, but when you think about it, there's a ripple effect. Because if you can powerfully impact a child to improve their conversation skills, not only is that going to affect them within their classroom, but the teachers teaching the Color My Conversation are going to improve their conversation skills, their communication skills within the classroom environment. And then you take that and you move it to the families. If families are learning improved conversation skills, the family dynamics are going to be positively affected. When schools and families and children are together improving their conversation skills, the ripple effect carries on into the community and beyond. This video was intended to be a launching pad for you as you step forward into the world of conversations. I developed the Color My Conversation program because I felt there was a need for a connected approach, one that would take a child from a basic greeting to the most complicated conversation that child was capable of having. But much more importantly than that, conversations are powerful. And when we teach children to have competent conversations, it impacts their friendships, their academic success, their relationships at home, and in the future, their job and beyond. Life is to be valued. Each life has a plan. Each life has a purpose. And each life has a beautiful design.